This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Monday, October 10. In Squiz Kids Today, zoo closed as floodwaters rise. Fire on Easter Island. Freestyle football king is crowned, and Fat Bear Week in full swing. That's what's making news, kid style.
The lowdown.
It will be a soggy return to school for millions of Squiz Kids this morning, as New South Wales emerges from another week of rain and was yesterday preparing itself for a similar flood emergency to the ones that hit the state earlier this year. Towns in central New South Wales, including Dubbo, were on high alert yesterday, with evacuation orders being handed out, encouraging lots of residents to leave their homes and get to higher ground. On Saturday, the Western Plains Zoo, just outside of Dubbo, was forced to close its doors to visitors, as flash flooding made visiting the zoo too dangerous. The zoo is home to an awesome collection of giraffes, rhinos, lions, cheetahs, and even hippos. In a statement from zookeepers, worried animal lovers across the country were assured that all the animals were being kept safe and dry. Though I imagine the hippos are probably loving the wet weather out there. Not so much residents along the Hawkesbury River west of Sydney, who were yesterday told to evacuate their homes for the third time this year. Dams were full across the state and expected to spill over, and the army has even been called in to set up flood emergency centres as communities up and down the coast and inland across multiple river systems wait and watch to see how high the rivers rise this time. The constant rain is, of course, all thanks to the La Niña weather system, which unfortunately is going to be with us for the next 6 months or so. Maybe keep your gumboots handy. Oh, and kids going back to school today, try to stay out of the puddles in the playground, hey?
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed on Easter Island, which is exciting because we've never landed there before. And the reason we're there is because a fire has damaged some of the coolest, most historically significant statues in all of Polynesia. What's Polynesia, I hear you ask? It's the name given to a region in the Pacific Ocean that includes countries like New Zealand, Tahiti, Tonga, the Cook Islands, and even Hawaii. I've stuck a link to a map in today's episode notes. The moai are a collection of ancient stone statues carved about 500 years ago by the local people. They're famous around the world and stunning. I've stuck another link in today's episode notes for you to check them out. Thanks to a bushfire that swept across a corner of Easter Island over the week just gone, many moai have been damaged, with photos circulating yesterday of moai charred by the fire's flames. I've stuck a link to photos of that too in today's episode notes. Here's hoping the stone statues that have stood up to the ravages of nature for over 500 years survive this setback too. Oh! There's the classroom companion clarion, indicating that today's worksheets for our Squiz Kids for School subscribers relates to this story in the podcast. Get amongst it.
Sport time.
And it was another big weekend in sport, with the T20 men's cricket in Brizzy, with Australia beating the West Indies, and the Women's Rugby World Cup in New Zealand with the Wallaroos, Australia's national team going down against the Black Ferns, and of course, the Bathurst 2000 supercar race on the famous Mount Panorama. But the one competition that caught our eye was the Freestyle football tournament in Croatia at the weekend. Norway's Erlend Fagerli won his 9th consecutive world title yesterday, cementing his place as the undisputed best freestyle footballer in the world. What's freestyle football? Yeah, I had to Google it too. Put simply, it's doing amazing tricks with a soccer ball. And rather than try to explain it, I've stuck a link to video of Erlend in today's episode notes. When he was younger, Erlend saw videos of freestyle footballers on YouTube and spent hours and hours practicing in his backyard with his brother. And now he's a world champ. Because that's how you do it.
Animal Kingdom.
Because it's a Monday, and for many of you, the first day back at school, I thought we'd ease into things with a reminder that we're in the middle of Fat Bear Week. Those of you who tuned in last week will know what I'm talking about. It's the annual online voting poll for the fattest bear in Alaska's Katmai National Park. Bears who have spent the Northern Hemisphere summer stuffing their faces with salmon before their upcoming winter hibernation. Fan favourites such as Chunk, Walker and Otis have all lost out in early rounds of voting, while big boppers including Holly, Grazer and last year's winner 747 were all still in contention yesterday. I've stuck links in today's episode notes to the voting portal if you want to get involved, with photos of all of the bears, plus a link to a live cam into Katmai National Park, where you can watch the bears catching salmon in real time. You're welcome.
Squiz Kids for Schools.
And it's a big welcome back today to New South Wales school kids and teachers. Hope you had an excellent break. Now teachers, we know you're bounding into a new term with a certain sense of heaviness, as if you're dragging yourselves to the end of year finish line. So, let us help you out. As a special term 4 only offer, we've slashed the subscription price tag of our Squiz Kids for Schools offering. Get your hands on and wrap your ears around the Classroom Companion, daily, differentiated, curriculum-aligned worksheets tied to the news stories in this podcast, plus unfettered access to Squiz Kids shortcuts, 10-minute deep dives into curriculum-aligned topics, plus access to our excellent podcast, Squiz the World, where Amanda takes you on an audio excursion to a different country each week. All of this for only $39.95 for Term 4. Perfect for home educators too. Jump into a free trial at squizkids.com.au or via the link in today's episode notes. And let us do the lesson prep so you don't have to.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What's the name of the island in Polynesia that is home to the ancient stone statues called the moai? Yeah, that's right, it's Easter Island. Question number 2. Which country does freestyle football champ Erlend Fagerli come from? Yeah, that's right, he's from Norway. Question number 3. In which central New South Wales town is the Western Plains Zoo located? Yeah, that's right, it's in Dubbo.
Shout outs.
It's October 10. Today is World Porridge Day, where the World Porridge Making Championships will take place in Scotland. Porridge. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Maya from Helensvale, Nicola from The Rock, Fergus from Greenwood, Yanita from Canleyvale, Tiffany from Queen's Park, Jake from North Perth, and Grace from Coolcairn. And belated birthday shout-outs today go to Julian from Kingsgrove and Kay from Preston. And today's classroom shout-outs go to Class 3T Aqua and Ms Taylor at Randwick Public School, Grade 6 Pluto and Miss Apia at Chester Hill Public School, Class 5-6G and Mrs Glover at Mount Carmel School in Yass, and Class 4G and Mr Clark at Holy Family Catholic Primary School in Lindfield. Special shout-outs also go to Ms Nichols in Grade 1 at Parabadoo Primary School, Ms Shakespeare in Grade 4 at Mariba State School, and Ms Bullock in Grade 3 at Presbyterian Ladies College in Sydney, all of whom recently became members of Squiz Kids for Schools via our special Term 4 promo. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you're after a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.